We welcome you to Birmingham, Alabama. It is Southern Conference College basketball action on ESPN, and tonight the conference opener for both teams. The Mercer Bears are in town to take on the Bulldogs of Samford. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome in. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you. And Dean, these two teams, when you take a look at it, basically mirror images of one another. Both teams have had their ups and downs. Both teams have almost identical records. Both teams have had illnesses and injuries as well.
Yeah, it was quite the non-conference for both programs. Samford, they started 6-0, but entered tonight having lost 7 straight. They haven't played at home in 32 days. They haven't won in 36. They've battled injuries, like you said. Greg Gary's group at Mercer have battled their own bad luck and injuries, but tonight is a new season. Conference play begins.
Mercer 7-6, and Samford is 6-7. Yeah, Mercer in the road black, Samford in the home white. The officials for tonight: Arthur Volk, Michael Husted, and Sidney Cohen. It'll be 7'4" David Craig jumping in the center circle for Mercer against Logan Dye, number 22 in white, for the Samford Bulldogs. Opening tap, and here we go. The Samford Bulldogs started out the season 6-0. Since then, the team has lost 7 straight. It's been riddled with injuries and illnesses. And the Bulldogs trying to bounce back and desperately needs a win tonight, trying to get out to a good start in conference play. Turnover out of bounds, and it goes back to Mercer.
Well, and the Bulldogs have to play with confidence, right? They want an up-tempo, even with a limited bench. First possession, not the way Bucky McMillan would like to draw it up with a turnover.
And full court pressure put on by the Samford Bulldogs. Here come the Mercer Bears. You take a look at the starting lineup. Keep an eye on number 32, David Craig. We mentioned he's 7'4", weighs 320 pounds. Mercer is 7-6 on the year, coming up on an 82-75, making an 82-79 win on December 21st on the road against Troy. Craig double teamed, goes left hand, rims out on him, and the rebound by Jaron Riley for Samford. Here come the Samford Bulldogs. And keep an eye on the man with the ball right there, number 4, Jermaine Marshall, one of the better players on this team. He comes up empty on the shot, and the rebound by Mercer.
Yeah, for those not familiar with Jermaine Marshall at Samford, you're in for a treat. High motor, high energy guy.
Shot is taken and missed short by Jalen McCrary, and the rebound by Samford. No score. Minute 15 gone by in the opening half of play. Here's Nathan Johnson.
Samford wants to play fast, but in talking to Bucky McMillan, with all the injuries that they've had, do they have enough to win a high-scoring game?
Logan Dye knocks one down from 3. He scores the game's first points, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Bulldogs.
Dye's listed as the starting center, the starting 5-man, and this league, the Southern Conference, these 5s are known to be able to shoot those perimeter jump shots.
Score the basket and a foul. Michael Zanoni gets his first 2 points of the game. A foul inside, away from the play. And a free throw coming up here for Mercer. The head coach for Samford is Bucky McMillan in his 3rd season. The 2022 SoCon Coach of the Year last year, voted on by the media. Used to be a very successful high school basketball coach in the state of Alabama. Mountain Brook High School, won 333 games. 81% of his games he won. And he won a total of 5 state championships in this state of Alabama. Shot clock at 3. Fadeaway jumper. Good by Kamar Robertson, starting in the absence of the original starting guard, Luis Hurtado. And he has his first 2 points of the game. Here's Dye inside, fadeaway jumper rolls out. Fight for the rebound offensively, and new shot clock reset to 20 for Samford.
That's a good sign there. You're going to hear Marshall's name a lot at the offensive end, rebounding the basketball.
A nifty move by Riley, can't hit the shot off the glass. Rebound by Mercer. Here come the Bears, clad in the road black. Sean Walker knocks it in for the baseline, and Sean Walker has his first 2.
Yeah, Walker's numbers way up this season, especially behind the arc, 43%. A year ago, just 26%. Nice little mid-range pull-up right there.
Wide open three is up and in by Jermaine Marshall. Only shooting 25% from downtown this year. Knocks down his first tray and his first points of the night. Back and forth we go. We're tied at 6.
You couldn't have said it any better. Back and forth. This is exactly the pace that Samford wants. They want it hot. They want it fast, even with a limited bench and some guys out. We'll talk about it. Quez Glover, their leading scorer, out till at least mid-January with a knee injury. Jaden Campbell not in uniform either, a starting guard.
Shot taken and blocked. Mercer is fouled. Jalen McCrary fouled by Samford, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Greg Gary is the head coach of Mercer in his 4th season, formerly an assistant coach at Purdue for 8 years under Matt Painter. And prior to that, head coach at Centenary for 2 years, from 2008 to 2010. At the line, Jalen McCrary, averaging 15 points a game, 57% free throw shooter. And the first one is short. Shot number 2 coming up. He had 22 points, 9 rebounds in the win at Troy back on December 21st. And Dean, that's a tough place to play and win.
That is a terrific win, and one that really kind of showed how these Bears have been playing the last couple of weeks now that they start to get healthy. James Glisson, the 3rd back in the lineup, and now in the substitution you see Shannon Grant getting his first action of the season in a Bear uniform. So now you've got 2 really projected starters back in the lineup, or at least available for the Bears. It makes them very effective up front.
Here's Marshall faking the 3, goes inside. Ball knocked away and taken away by Mercer. Turnover by Samford. Mercer last year 16-17, went 8-10 in the SoCon. These 2 teams split 2 regular season games last year, each time the home team winning on its home court. Trap inside, Shannon Grant traveling, they wave it off, and a turnover on Mercer, and a timeout on the floor. 15:58 to go, opening half, back and forth we go. Mercer on the road leads it by 1. Back in Birmingham, 15:58 to go here in the first half. It's Mercer on the road leading Samford by a score of 7-6. And welcome back, everyone. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you. And Dean, we talked about it in the open. These 2 teams, very similar, mirror images on paper of one another. And so far, back and forth game, 7-6. Mercer by 1. Your thoughts in the first few minutes?
Well, I think that the tempo favors Samford early on. They want it fast, furious. As we mentioned, even though they have a limited bench, this is exactly the way Bucky McMillan wants to play.
And we talked about before the break that we got some new players into the game for Mercer. Shannon Grant making his first appearance as a Bear here this season.
Yeah, I look, James Glisson the 3rd. This is his 3rd game. He checked in during the timeout. And now Shannon Grant seeing his first action. These are 2 projected starters, key returners for the Bears. I mean, these guys are double digits. They're high rebound guys. They add size. I mean, just across the board, these are welcome return for Greg Gary and staff.
So here's Samford again trying to snap a 7-game losing skid after starting out the season 6-0. It's been hindered by injuries, illnesses, and there's a blocking foul down low. It's on Shannon Grant of Mercer, and that's his first. So, Bucky, how crucial is it for Samford to get a win tonight to end the skid and get out to a good start in conference play?
Well, again, it's conference play. They open tonight. The other 8 teams will play tomorrow, Thursday night. And, yeah, you always want to get started off on the right foot in conference play, especially in the Southern Conference where that's really what matters. And you're trying to play for position when you get to Asheville in the Southern Conference tournament.
Nathan Johnson takes it hard to the rack. He's fouled. He'll head to the line and shoot 2. Fouls on Shannon Grant. 2 quick ones for Grant off the bench. His second personal foul of the game. And Nathan Johnson will head to the line and shoot 2.
Greg Gary has no option but to take Grant out after just less than a minute of play. But make no mistake, first action in really about 8 months for Shannon Grant. He has battled a stress fracture on and off all summer and fall. It's just good to see him out there if you're a Bear fan.
Hey, look at streaky Samford. Started out, as we said, 6-0. You see the numbers. Since then, 0-7, trying to get back on track with a conference win here tonight. The conference opener, Nathan Johnson at the line, makes both free throws. And it's Samford back in the lead by 1. Here's Sean Walker. He also missed some time for Mercer. Both teams have had injuries, illnesses, trying to find the right personnel to put on the floor to make these teams go. In the non-conference part of the season, now in the SoCon opener here for both teams tonight. Tough shot by Quinones, missing, tapped up and missed by Glisson. Rebound by Achor. Forced Samford into the hands of Riley. Riley outside. Johnson steps into a 3, and it's good. Nathan Johnson from 3 knocks it down, his first field goal of the night.
And that's what the transfer from UMBC can do. He gets his feet set. He can knock it home.
Instant offense off the bench for Bucky McMillan's team. A 3 by Johnson. He has 5 points. Samford in the lead by 4. Robertson, tough fadeaway jumper, goes down again. That's twice in this half he's done that. He has his second basket of the game.
Robertson is capable. I mean, he's really their 6th starter. Hurtado has started the last couple of games, really just because he's been playing better. And Robertson's battled some foul trouble. They just wanted to bring Robertson off the bench. But make no mistake, I mean, he is a quality point guard in the Southern Conference.
You see the perimeter passing game by Samford. Shot clock inside of 10. Achor stopped, goes over the left shoulder, drops it in, gets the friendly roll. Achor, his first 2 points of the game.
Achor's a guy that was out in shoot-around today, and the coaching staff didn't know if he was going to play. He has been battling a fever for the last week or so.
Inside, and the basket is good by Jalen McCrary. His first basket, give him 3 points of the night. And here comes Bubba Parham, number 1 in white for Samford. He was also out with an illness, as was Achor. It's just been a tough non-conference part of the season for this Samford team. Achor again, back-to-back. Jump hooks in the lane. He scores again, a 2.
Boy, he took his time. And that's really his go-to move over the left shoulder with the right hand. 2 years of high-level junior college basketball at Chipola in Florida.
Here's McCrary, hard dribble drive, and the floater is good by McCrary. His second basket, give him 5 points of the night. Back and forth we go. It's Samford in the lead by 2.
Great body control by McCrary right there. He leads the Southern Conference shooting 60% from the floor. A great mid-range game.
There's Parham inside, outside of Shore. Riley's got it, 9 to shoot. Riley had it stripped, but he's fouled. Riley forces the contact and the foul. It's on Jalen McCrary. And the foul is a foul on the floor.
Boy, Shore has been effective, having not played for really over a week. You see it there, that second jump hook. He recognized that the double team didn't come. He was one-on-one with Glisson, and that's advantage at Shore.
They actually say that Riley was in the act of shooting, so the first free throw is good by Riley. 78% free throw shooter at 15 points in the win at Belmont, or correction, in the loss at Belmont on December the 21st. And Coach Gary said he's a great backup point guard for this team, solid passer. He can knock down shots when he's open. He knows this Samford system very well.
Third year in the program. Spent a year in prep school, so he's a little older. Born in Australia, but spent his middle school and high school years here in the U.S. as his dad was a coach at the collegiate level. Now back in Australia coaching the Perth Wildcats.
So here comes the press. Dean, full court, man-to-man press. What do you make of it?
Well, it's exactly what Samford wants to do. They'll employ a number of different full court presses, but they want to force you into turnovers, not necessarily in the first half, but they want to wear you down for the second half.
Here's Walker, triple teamed outside. Quinones misses that three. Rebound by Samford and by number 21, Britton Johnson. Here comes Bubba Parham. Out of the hands of Logan Dye. Good inside-outside guy for this team.
Well, in the Bulldogs, they want to spread you out, particularly with Logan Dye, the ability to shoot it from behind the arc.
Comes up short on that three. Rebound skied for by Braden Sparks for Mercer. Mercer down 4. Stepping into a 3 and missing from 3 is Walker. Rebound by Britton Johnson for Samford. Samford trying to end this 7-game losing skid. The team record 6-7, but Bucky McMillan said if his team had stayed healthy during the non-conference portion of the year, he really feels this team could be 10-3 instead of being 6-7.
Well, I think a lot of people in the Southern Conference know that not if, but when they get healthy, much like the Bears now with Grant and Glisson back, these are two teams in the top half of the Southern Conference.
Yeah, Mercer, the preseason 7th place pick of the SoCon. Samford, the preseason 2nd place pick at the coaches poll. Behind front-runner Furman, preseason number 1 team. Shot for 3, missing up front by Glisson, and the rebound by the Bulldogs, and Samford clad in the home white.
As fast as Samford wants to play, their defense in the half court has been really solid thus far.
Logan Dye up another move, and he scores a 2. Logan Dye now with 5 points on the night.
Well, that's why Dye was a preseason All-Southern Conference selection by the coaches and the media. I mean, he can play inside, he can play outside. He has really, really developed his body over his time here at Samford.
McCrary, another 2 inside. 7 points for McCrary. Comes in averaging 15 a game. He's basically halfway there. 7 already here in the first 9+ minutes. Here's Dye, scored a shot a moment ago. Into Parham's hands. Parham skips it in the corner. Good ball movement. Shot for 3, way off by Johnson. It's out of bounds off of Dye, and we get a timeout on the court. 10:30 to go here in the first half.
Well, fast and furious. Bubba Parham inside. Dye shows the left hand. It gives the Bulldogs a 19-15 lead. We got a good one in Birmingham.
Coming up at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2. A couple of 11-1 teams square off. Ricky Council, the fourth. And number 9, Arkansas, take on KJ Williams and LSU at the Maravich Center in Baton Rouge. Again, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2. Here in Birmingham, Alabama, technically Homewood, Alabama, on the campus of Samford University. 10:30 to go in the first half. 19-15. Samford in the lead by 4. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you. And Dean, how about that beauty shot here before we go to action?
Well, look, for Samford, I really like their confidence level right now, right? I mean, they've got health issues. They've got just a number of guys that just aren't able to play today, but the Bulldogs are relying on some guys that are really stepping up. And they're guarding at the defensive end as well, especially when the shot clock is down. So I think if you're Bucky McMillan and staff, you're really happy through the first 9.5 minutes of the first half. For Mercer, right, Greg Gary, you got to make plays when the play breaks down. Due to the style that Samford employs, the Bears are going to need to make plays, much like right now. This is going to be a fast possession.
So Mercer has the ball out of the timeout. We talked to head coach Greg Gary before the game. He likes where his team is right now. He says it's gotten better each game during the non-conference part of the year. It's one with guys that have stepped up due to some injuries and illnesses as that baseline shot goes in by Jalen McCrary. And Coach Gary said that he likes his team's attitude, its chemistry, says this might be the most athletic and deepest team he's had in his 4 years at Mercer.
I don't think there's any question about it. It just has taken some time, again, through the injury, it sounds like a broken record, but also just the employment of 8 new guys, transfers, freshmen. It takes time to gel with the schedule that they had.
Really steps inside, wraparound pass to Dye, and he lost it out of bounds. Turnover on Samford. It's 4th of the game.
Boy, a big-time move right there by Reilly. He cleared some space and just didn't quite make the right pass to Dye. At least he couldn't handle it on the baseline.
Here's a look at the Mercer offense this season. Field goal-wise, shooting exactly 50%. Three-point shooting, 39%. So a good-looking shooting team here this year for the Mercer Bears.
Well, if they can defend at a higher level, they're going to reach their goals because they can score the basketball.
Here's David Craig, the 7'4" center back of the game. Tries to cross-court the pass. It's out of bounds. Turnover on Mercer. Goes back over to the Bulldogs. There's David Craig. He's listed at 7'2". He's actually 7'4". They say he weighs between 315, 320 pounds. And how about 6% body fat? He walked past me at the hotel last night. He is an absolute giant.
He's got a ways to go, but he's got potential. He's already got 3 double-doubles. Second in the country for freshmen behind Kyle Filipowski at Duke.
Yeah, and he had a double-double on the road at Florida State this year. The coaching staff says he has exceeded the expectations of the coaches this year. He has good hands, a good passer, good work ethic, strong body, and plus he's just big.
Well, and with Shannon Grant and James Glisson out, he played more minutes than I think anybody expected, but that's only helped his development.
Fadeaway jumper goes in for Logan Dye. Give him 7 points, 3 baskets here on the night.
But you notice now Dye with a couple of inside jump hooks, Achora as well. David Craig not a shot blocker.
Here's Robertson on the baseline, forces one up, can't get it. Rebound Logan Dye for Samford, into the hands of Reilly. Reilly on the break, in rhythm, a 3 by Johnson is good. Another 3 for Johnson, his second of the night. 8 points on the evening.
Well, Johnson, a guy that's known as a shooter, but really hasn't had a lot of playing time. 35% behind the arc. Boy, those last 2 looked really smooth.
And Samford at home in the lead by 7. Here's Robertson. Tough fadeaway. Drops it in again. Kamar Robertson now 6 points of the game on 3 made baskets. And a delay of game is called on Mercer on number 0, Ja Quinones after the shot.
Yeah, I think he just inadvertently touched the ball, kind of grabbed it. Didn't throw it necessarily to the inbounding Samford player. That's the right call. It does allow some substitutions to come in. But Kamar Robertson with another pull-up right there. Look, he has talent, he has speed. He just was not healthy last year as a junior. And it really is, it took him the off season, both the spring, summer, and fall to really get right. But he has really had a good non-conference slate for the Bears.
Here's Johnson, thought about a three. Hounded by Quinones in the short corner. Shot clock inside of 10. They move it over to Riley. Riley against Walker. Skips it over in the corner. Britton Johnson into a chore. Can't finish the shot. Got his own rebound, though. Had it poked away. Loose ball. Tie up, and the arrow will go back over to Mercer.
Well, you know Johnson can shoot it when his feet are set. He knocks it home. Samford down a few men, not showing it right now.
Back at the Pete Hannes Center, and Dean, how about the three-point shooting by Samford in the first half?
Well, that's the difference right now, and they've had it from a variety of people. You saw Logan Dye, Jermaine Mitchell, a couple of big guys, and then Nathan Johnson has had his feet set. His point guards have found him, and he's knocked it home. And again, that's a big reason why the Bulldogs lead 24-19.
So Nate Johnson coming off the bench, hitting a couple of threes. He and Dye 3 for 4 from downtown in the game so far. Rest of the team just 9 points, 1 of 2 from the field. And I got to think, if you're Bucky McMillan, you have to be happy with this start. This team desperate for a win right now, off to a good start, up 5 here in the midway part of the first half.
Yeah, and look, I don't think Bucky would tell you they really haven't played poorly during this losing stretch. It's been a variety of reasons, but yeah, back to Nate Johnson for a while. Guys from the bench have one job many times, and it's to keep the music going, right? Don't disrupt the rhythm of the game. In fact, if you can enhance it, that's exactly what Johnson has done thus far.
So here comes Mercer. This team lost its top 3 scorers from last season. Felipe Haase, Jalen Johnson, Neftali Alvarez. They are all gone, but this team 7-6 right now playing in its conference opener here tonight. Reach in foul from behind with 7 to shoot. And it's on Samford's number 14, Achor. That's his first, only the 3rd team foul on the Bulldogs.
Little zone right there out of the timeout by Samford. You won't see much for Mercer. Greg Gary, pretty much a half-court man-to-man team. Bucky McMillan will employ a number of different defenses. And when they do go to zone, you've got to try to attack that high post right at the free throw line area. James Glisson there, now he moves out of it.
Steal by Achor, racing down the floor. Euro step, finger roll. No, it doesn't go in for him. And saved by Johnson into the hands of Britton Johnson. Now back to Nathan Johnson, open three. And the weak side rebound taken by Robertson for Mercer. Clad in the road black. Mercer's Robinson falls down into Walker's hands, and now the Bears will reset. Zanoni, that's a three, and that's good. Michael Zanoni, his first three of the game, give him 5 points on the night.
A true freshman out of Greensboro Day, coached by legendary Freddie Johnson, known as a shooter. Give Greg Gary a lot of credit. He has stuck with him through the first 10 or 12 games where he's been a little up and down, but he showed just enough, and he gets in the gym to where coach knows that he is working on his game.
Here's Achor. Thought about the shot, 4 to shoot. Brady is in there. Shot at the shot clock buzzer. No, they wave it off. It went in for Britton Johnson, but the shot clock buzzer expired first before it left his hand. 4th turnover on Samford.
Well, it wasn't until under 10 on the clock, I think, that any Samford Bulldog recognized that the clock was running down. Britton Johnson kind of looking at the bench saying, Coach, I recognized it. The only good to come out of that is it's a dead ball turnover and allows the Bulldogs to set their defense full court.
Here's Robertson into Glisson's hands. Only his 3rd game back after a thumb injury. You see the right thumb taped up. Corner three by Robertson is good. Kamar Robertson, his 4th basket of the game, his first tray of the night.
That's been Robertson and McCreary for the Bears, although somehow they've got to try to get Glisson going. I mean, he is a key part of their offense.
And now Mercer back in the lead by 1. An 8-0 run by the Bears. Here's Logan Dye. Inside, double teamed, series of moves. He needs help, throws it up, no. 5 to shoot. Reverse layup is good by Marshall, and now an injury to a Mercer player. That's Ja Quinones, number 0 for Mercer, and he's in pain.
Well, he was wrapped up there with Marshall trying to get the loose ball, the rebound as it came off. Boy, just 2 guys battling after Dye was just throwing it up there. And I think that, yeah, they just get tangled up. I don't think that Marshall really pulled the ball away from Quinones so much that you hope that that's nothing more than a stinger.
6'4" freshman running off the court on his own. Barrett, Orlando, Florida is his hometown. Had 7 points against Troy in his last game last week on Wednesday night, December 21st. So he comes out of the game. And it looks like TJ Grant, number 14, will come in.
Yeah, Quinones has got a chance. Another true freshman, he and Zanoni in particular, and Craig. I mean, they make up 3 really good young players, the future bright for Mercer. But Jordan Jones, who was an all-freshman selection last year, turned his ankle in practice yesterday, so he's not available. So now we see TJ Grant.
Mercer had an 8-0 run, end on a basket by Jermaine Marshall for Samford a possession ago. Now here come the Bears down by 1. Rising into a 3 is Glisson. Rebound, fought for. Quinn Ritchie rips it away for the Bulldogs. Here comes Samford. 6-7 on the year, 7 straight losses, trying to end the streak here tonight in a back-and-forth battle with Mercer. SoCon opener for both teams. Ritchie inside Dye, draws an immediate double, being hounded, and finally a foul called on Mercer. It's on TJ Grant, who just checked into the game, and that's his first. We have an ACC basketball Saturday matinee for you on ESPN2 and on the app. Kyle Fidabowski and number 17, Duke hosts Florida State at Cameron Indoor. Our coverage begins at 1 Eastern. Should be a good way to start ringing in 2023. Quinn Ritchie, a 3. Weak side rebound, Glisson for Mercer.
Well, the Bears are doubling inside at every opportunity.
Zanoni, another three goes in. Michael Zanoni from outside, his second three of the night, and the Bears up by 2. What do you like best of what you've seen of the Bears here on this run?
Well, look, they're moving the ball. They're taking advantage of transition or lack of transition defense by the Bulldogs.
Marshall's three short, rebound Mercer. Under 4 to go here in the first half. Mercer by 2.
Now they're kind of beating Samford at their own game. They're pushing the ball at every opportunity.
Here's Robertson into Walker's hands. Big first explosion step. Shot blocked. Into Glisson's hands. Can't score. Rebound. Marshall has it for Samford.
Boy, Glisson would like to have that one back. He won't get much easier than that right there tonight.
Loose ball, turnover on Samford, and then a foul is called. And it's on Samford, and we go to a break.
Well, these two teams had a little bit of tough luck in the non-conference. You wouldn't know it by watching them. Good shooting, good defense. 28-26, Mercer.
The College Football Playoff Semifinals and the College Football Playoff National Championship on ESPN.
Back here in Birmingham, how about the leading scorers here tonight for both teams? Here, Dean, both teams having their star guys show up big time here tonight in the first half.
Yeah, we've seen some really good shooting. They've combined collectively 7 of 15 behind the arc. Mercer 3 of 6, Samford 4 of 9. Kamar Robertson and Jalen McCreary each with 9. Michael Zanoni has 8 as well, but Robertson, McCreary at different times have really helped elevate the Mercer offense that really kind of stumbled out of the gate the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Right, so Dean, Samford had a 7-point lead. It lost it. It's now down by 2. What does it need to do to get back in the swing of things?
Well, game of runs, right? Their transition defense needs to be good. And it's been as much their one-on-one defense as anything. As I like to say, they've got to guard a yard, especially when the shot clock is down. They've got to make sure they keep an eye on James Glisson. He is a guy that hasn't scored yet, but boy, he can really get it going. He is effective offensively for the Bears.
Here's Zanoni. He's hit 2 threes in the game tonight. Shot clock at 6. Grant stumbles, loses it, out of bounds. Turnover, Mercer. It's 4th of the game.
Well, just too much dribbling right there by the Bears in general. And it ended with a turnover by Grant, dribbling really down to the baseline, nowhere to go.
So Samford ball with 3:02 to go in the first half. We talked to head coach Bucky McMillan before the game. He's high on his team and its potential. He says if this team can get completely healthy, he feels this team can compete for a SoCon championship. Preseason second place pick according to the coaches poll. And again, trying to snap a 7-game losing skid here tonight.
I don't think there's any question that they can be a factor. I also think the Mercer Bears will be a factor in league play.
Really? Inside, Campbell lost it, got it back, shoots and scores.
Marshall just battled inside right there. He was not going to be denied. Said it at the top. If you haven't seen Jermaine Marshall, he is a guy, motor just constantly runs. He's consistent in everything he does. He's one of the best rebounders in the league.
Backdoor pass is knocked away by Nathan Johnson for Samford, out of bounds. It'll stay with Mercer underneath, 16 to shoot. There's a look at the Samford players in street clothes. Quez Glover, one of their better players, not able to play. He has an injury.
Jaden Campbell, Cooper Cafis. I mean, just, yeah, 3 guys that have all started at various times in their career, as you see Glisson right there.
Yeah, Glisson, he's been out with a thumb injury, only his 3rd game back. He scores his first 2. And Mercer back in the lead by 2. Backdoor pass to Marshall, and he's clobbered on the shot. He's fouled. He'll hit the line and shoot 2. Foul is on James Glisson. That's his first.
By all accounts, Jermaine Marshall is having a good season. As you see Glisson right there saying that was all ball. I don't know if I've ever known a player that ever fouled. But Marshall, right, 11 double-doubles last year. He doesn't have a single one this year. He's been close on a couple of occasions. But I think he's a key for the Bulldogs, not only tonight, but moving forward into conference play. I mean, they'll get Quez Glover back. He is a talented player. You see him right there in the middle with the water bottle. They'll get Jaden Campbell back, but Jermaine Marshall is a big component to the Samford success.
85% free throw shooter, knocks them both down. He was a great part of the success last year for Samford. A coach, Bucky McMillan, said last year, Marshall, when he was out of the lineup, the team was 1-6. When he was in the lineup, the team was 9-1.
Now they've got a deep rotation, and it's an experienced rotation when they're healthy.
And most teams have 14, maybe 15 players on a roster. His team has 22 players on this team.
Well, and you see it right there. The bench scoring bears it out. 22nd in Division I, over 30 points off the bench.
Shot clock at 5. The pump fake by Robertson. Hoists in a 3, and it goes in. Shoots in a silencer on the crowd. His second 3 of the night.
Now, sometimes offense is just better than good defense.
Now Campbell, making Marshall rather, and his 3 is good. Jermaine Marshall responds with his second 3 of the game.
Samford's a better shooting team from behind the arc than they have shown in the non-conference. They entered tonight just under 32% as a team. Certainly much better tonight.
Tied at 33 apiece, inside a minute to go here in the first half. Zanoni along 2, got it. He's in double figures now with 10, the 6'5" freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina.
And he has added that, so to speak, during the last 6 weeks as he's entered. Look, a man among boys in college is a man among men in college. Bucky McMillan needs to use it or lose a timeout. Sorry about that. That one wasn't clean.
Back here in Birmingham, Alabama, the campus of Samford University. 40.5 seconds remaining in the first half. It's Mercer 35, Samford 33. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you. And you said to me before the game, before we've been on the air, this has the making of being a really good game, and so far it's been back and forth.
Yeah, look, the threes have really kind of kept this game close. 4 for Mercer, 5 for Samford. And it's been a variety of people. You see Kamar Robertson leads all scorers right now. He is playing at a high level. I don't even know if he thought he was going to start tonight until Luis Hurtado came down with what seems to be the flu, some kind of sickness. He's in the locker room. But yeah, there's no question that, you know, things elevate when you get to conference play, and you know that both teams are going to try to play absolutely as hard as they can.
Here's Nathan Johnson, inside position by Marshall, draws the contact again, and he's fouled. We talked to Coach Bucky McMillan before the game about Jermaine Marshall, and he said he's a high-energy guy. He says he's like a Dennis Rodman on this team. He's an energy guy. His energy is infectious for this team. Says he's a double-double machine for this team.
Well, look, when you play hard, when you don't have to coach effort, things just happen naturally. And for Jermaine Marshall, right, the high motor, but he impacts winning by the plays he makes. Hard cuts, good passes. He's in the right spot defensively most of the time. I mean, just, you know, a year at Florida Southwest State Junior College and then a year at the University of Akron in the MAC, and has really found a home here now in 2 years at Samford.
Yeah, last year, Marshall, 29 games played, 28 starts, was third in the SoCon in rebounding last year at 8.2 boards per game. 6'6" junior from Brighton, Alabama. Misses both. Knocked away out of bounds off of Mercer. Heads up play by Bubba Parham. It'll stay with Samford underneath.
Parham has been quiet. Nice effort play right there. Two misses. You don't really see that out of Jermaine Marshall, an 85% free throw shooter, but Parham has no other opportunity but to just knock it off of Glisson's legs. Nice job. Gives the Bulldogs another opportunity with 19 on the clock. Parham's been quiet, but as we mentioned earlier, he really hasn't practiced in over a week due to the illness and the flu-like symptoms.
About a 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, winding down the first half. Shot clock inside of 10. It's Riley against Walker. 5 to shoot. Riley, burst of speed down the lane. Outside, Nathan Johnson, a three. Good! Before the halftime buzzer, another three by Nathan Johnson, his third of the game. 11 points for Johnson in the first half, and he gives Samford a 1-point lead at the break, 36-35.
Yeah, really found his teammate again. That's what good point guards do, right? You don't want to be a pass-first point guard. You don't want to be a shoot-first point guard. You want to be make the right play point guard, and that's what Jaren really has been.
Halftime is here. Your halftime score, it is Samford 36 and Mercer 35. It's been a back and forth battle, the conference opener for both teams. 7-6 is Mercer's record. 6-7 is Samford's record. Samford has lost 7 straight, trying to get off the schneid and end the losing skid here tonight. It's Samford by 1 at the break on ESPNU. Back in Birmingham, your halftime score, it is Samford 36, Mercer 35. The second half coming up in a moment. You're watching Southern Conference College Basketball live on ESPNU. Back in Birmingham, Alabama. Still holiday time here in this great city. Halftime score getting you set for the second half of play. It's Samford 36 and Mercer 35 at the break. And welcome back, everyone. Brock Bowling and Dean Keener with you. And Dean, a back and forth battle, 36-35. Samford with the lead by 1 at the break. And both teams shot amazingly in the first half, both over 50%.
Yeah, they did. Look, we said it at the top, right? Mirrored images of these two teams. I think both coaches should be happy, although the critical 20 minutes comes now. But the three-point shooting was just simply outstanding. Mercer, 4 of 7 behind the arc. Samford, 6 of 11, so a combined 10 of 18, and it was by a variety of people. Look, 5 different players made a 3 in that game. Nathan Johnson was terrific off the bench for Samford. But there was a lot of other things. There was good effort. There were limited turnovers. Certainly Greg Gary and Bucky McMillan found some things to talk about, but I think they're both pleasantly surprised and pleasantly happy with the way this first half played out.
You see the numbers in the first half. Robertson and Zanoni leading Mercer. Marshall and Nathan Johnson pacing Samford. The three-point field goals, we talked about it. Mercer shooting 57%, Samford 55%. Game trends, Dean, 5 ties, 6 lead changes. Been a good game.
Yeah, mirrored images, right? Momentum doesn't have an allegiance. And in a game like this where, you're trying to find a groove and a rhythm in your first conference game, it doesn't surprise me that we've had a lot of lead changes.
All right, so second half underway. Close game so far. Dean, what do you look for from both teams strategy-wise here in the second half?
Well, I don't think Mercer's going to change up defensively. They're going to be solid in the half-court man-to-man. I think they're going to double from the backside in the post. And I think for Samford, they're going to try to get the game going back at the pace they started in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, where it was faster. They were able to press, trap, and really kind of force some unwarranted shots by Mercer.
Here's Nathan Johnson, had a great first half, hit 3 threes, 11 points. Logan Dye steps back and launches a 3, and down it goes, his second of the game. He's in double figures now with 10 points.
Well, he looked where his feet were set. He didn't want to take a long 2, and he knew he had just a bit of momentum with Craig slow on a closeout.
A turnover, Marshall scored the basket, and a foul, a chance for a three-point play.
Well, there's an example of Jermaine Marshall, high energy, high motor, always in the right place. He's just a guy you want on your team if you want to win basketball games.
So Jermaine Marshall goes to the line. He's been a bit of a nomad in his college career. Started out at Florida Southwest State Junior College. You mentioned it earlier, Dean. He played at Akron a couple of years ago. And now this year and last year playing here at Samford. 14 points on the night so far. He came in averaging 10 a game.
He's on the front of that press. Uncharacteristic now, has missed 3 free throws.
Yeah, normally an 85% free throw shooter. He's missed 3 in a row. So here's Mercer. All of a sudden down 6 to begin the second half of play.
Yeah, we're not a minute into this thing, and this is a big possession for Mercer.
Shot for 3 goes down by Kamar Robertson. That's his 3rd of the game. Give him 15 points in the night. He came in averaging 13 points per game.
He played almost 17 minutes in the first half. We talked about it. He wasn't expected to start until Hurtado came down with the flu, and he has again been nothing but spectacular.
And the big guy, David Craig, 7'4" tall. Gets the rebound for Mercer. Offensive foul, they call a push-off on Kamar Robertson, his second. Turnover number 6 on Mercer. They go back the other way.
Well, nice job by Quinn Ritchie. Just stepped out of bounds, but the previous possession, nifty little just nudge, shot fake, gets Ritchie off his feet and knocked down the 3, which was a big possession for Mercer. They needed to kind of squelch what the Bulldogs had done in the first 45 seconds.
Really tight roping the baseline, and it's out of bounds, and it goes back over to Mercer. So now both teams have 6 turnovers apiece.
That was a limited turnover first half, especially the way it was played.
And how about Samford? Samford only had 4 team fouls, so good defense by Samford in the first 20 minutes.
And that's what Bucky McMillan said. Today at shoot-around, he's like, man, if we can defend, especially with some guys having to play more minutes than maybe they've been used to.
McCrary, shot block and denied by Samford. Marshall now into the hands of Nathan Johnson. Here's Riley, back out to Johnson, a deep 3, book it, a 3 by Johnson again, his 4th of the night. 14 points for Nathan Johnson, the 6'7" senior from Adel, Iowa.
You say we're in Homewood, Alabama, near Birmingham. That was close to Birmingham. My goodness, that was deep. He shot it with confidence. Just a carryover from the first half.
Here's Walker, hounded on the double team, skips it over to McCrary, fadeaway jumper is off, and the rebound by Nathan Johnson. He's been very active tonight here off the bench. It's really Dye, Nathan Johnson, Marshall, and Quinn Ritchie, the 5 on the floor. Wide open 3 by Marshall is good again. His 3rd 3 of the game. He has 17 points, and it's a 9-point Samford lead.
And the defense continues to be solid by the Bulldogs, but when you make shots, boy, the game becomes a little easier.
Mercer was down 1 at the break. It's now down 9 with 16:40 to go here in the game. They go inside to the big guy, Craig. Draws a triple team. Someone is open. Pump fake by Zanoni. High arcing three goes in again.
Boy, a terrific extra pass by Sean Walker Jr. at the top. He could have taken that three, deferred over to Zanoni for a better three. Much needed.
Both teams shooting lights out from 3 in this game here tonight. Conference opener for both Southern Conference college basketball. Dye, his 3. It's good.
Now, Brock, it gets contagious, right? Both ways within a team. Everybody feeling it tonight, and Dye knows that Craig can't guard him out there off the bounce, so he's got to give him a little bit of space.
Samford with its biggest lead of 10. This does not look like a team that's lost 7 straight coming into this game tonight.
No, not at all. And with each possession, their confidence grows. The crowd gets into it. It's exactly what Bucky McMillan was looking for.
Steal by Riley, and he's fouled at midcourt by Sean Walker. And we get a timeout on the court. 15:37 to go here in the game, and the hometown Samford Bulldogs in the lead by 10. A 3 by Jermaine Marshall for Samford. And then Logan Dye answers one himself. It's Samford at home leading by 10 on ESPNU. Back here in Birmingham, Alabama, we mentioned that Samford comes in on a 7-game losing skid. The team lost so many close games heading into tonight. A 3-point loss to Louisiana Tech, a 2-point defeat against Tennessee Southern, overtime losses to DePaul and UCF, and a 1-point loss at South Carolina State. Dean, they say your record is what it says it is, but in this case, with all the injuries, the illnesses, the close losses, the 6-7 record by Samford coming into tonight, a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, you set me up well. You're exactly right, partner. I don't know that they are what they are at this point. And quite honestly, I don't know that it matters so much as conference play now has started, and that's really what matters. And the confidence that the Bulldogs are playing with right now is at another level.
Up by 1 at the break, up by 10 now, 15:20 to go in the game. Shot clock inside of 10. They hound Nathan Johnson. He's had a great game tonight. Shot clock at 5. Johnson backing in. Fadeaway jumper. Not this time. Rebound on the weak side by Zanoni for Mercer. Look who's back into the game. Dean, number 0, Ja Quinones.
Well, nice to see him back. He went out there earlier with what looked to be like some kind of a shoulder injury.
Catch and turnaround shot missed by Glisson. Rebound by Samford.
Glisson and Grant both in there for the Bears. Grant in first action of the season picked up 2 quick fouls.
Shore inside, Marshall in the lay-in. 19 points for Jermaine Marshall. He ties his season high here tonight.
Marshall's just been fantastic, right? And he's been good defensively as well, able to guard on the perimeter.
And Samford with his biggest lead of a dozen here in this game in the second half. Turnover on Mercer, number 8 in the game. Here comes Marshall, burst of speed down the lane. Contact, no, it's off him, out of bounds. Turnover number 7 on Samford.
Well, Mercer had just 4 turnovers in the first half. They now have 4 through the first 5.5 minutes of the second half. Many of them unforced.
All right, so Dean, Mercer facing its biggest deficit, down 12, 14 minutes and change to go in the game. Where does it go to get some points? How does it chip away at this lead?
That's exactly right. Just chip away. They've got to break the pressure, and they've got to play at their pace in the half court. Grant doesn't have his rhythm yet, but you still need to try to play through him. He's a factor in the low post. Zanoni obviously has got to continue to move. He can't stand. He's found his rhythm shooting, but they're guarding him closely.
Fouls on number 14, Achor, his first of the game. That's only the 5th team foul by Samford in the entire game tonight.
Well, and they had Walker going to the rim right there, going into his shot. That's something else Mercer's got to do. They can't be content with just shooting jump shots. They've got to attack the rim off the dribble or, like they did right there, off the bounce.
Sean Walker at the line. First free throw is good. He had been out with a virus. He's back in the lineup here tonight. Coach Greg Gary calls him Mr. Consistent. He says he's Mercer's best defender, and he told us, Dean, that when Coach Gary grades games afterwards, he says Walker is 95% right in his instincts playing defense on most possessions in the game.
Yeah, his numbers are way up offensively, but his real value to this team is a lockdown defender on the perimeter. Now you see just a little bit of pressure by the Bears.
Lead down to 10. Here's Bubba Parham. They stay on Johnson. He's had the hot hand here tonight. Shot clock hits 7. Parham against Quinones. 4 to shoot. Parham. Dye. Mid-range jumper. Beats the buzzer. Misses the shot. And the rebound by Glisson for the Mercer Bears.
Yeah, another solid defensive possession by the Bears. They've tightened things up since that media timeout.
Walker. Tough fadeaway. Missing off the glass. Rebound. Nathan Johnson has it for Samford. Here's Riley, burst of speed down the lane, acrobatic shot, missing, rebound. Got to take it away though by Riley. Turnover again by Mercer. It's 9th of the night.
Well, credit Riley for not giving up. He knew he took a bad shot right there in that possession. Got it back with the turnover off Glisson.
Riley slips inside, left hand, score, a 2. That's his first field goal of the game. He has 4 points. Comes in averaging 10 a game, has 4 right now. The lead is back up to a dozen for the hometown team of the Bulldogs in Samford.
You can tell that they're trying to play through Grant. Credit Logan Dye for playing good defense in there.
Ball knocked away into Grant's hands. He's fouled with 2 on the shot clock. Fouls on Jaron Riley of Samford, and that's his 2nd of the game.
Yeah, and that's one that you just don't like to see. It's the bad shot by Riley, but then he recognizes that he can come from behind, picks the pocket of the defender and comes up, the offensive player, and comes up with that layup in the ensuing possession. Nice turn of events right there for Jalen Riley.
So here's Shannon Grant is yet to play this season until tonight. Last year, 31 games played, 9 starts. Last year, he averaged 5 points a game, but against Samford in January of last season, Dean, he had 23 points on 10 of 14 shooting and had 10 rebounds as well.
Yeah, he's gotten in better shape mentally, physically, just across the board each season. Soft hands, good feet, great feel for the game. It's just going to take him time.
And he goes 1 for 2.
And if you're Mercer, you got to dig in right now. They started to string some defense possessions together.
Really draws the double, slithers his way inside, shot clock at 10, open 3 in the corner is good by Parham. It's raining threes here tonight in Homewood, Alabama.
And if you're Samford, that's a sight for sore eyes to see Bubba Parham back in the game, making a 3.
Ball knocked away, out of bounds. It'll stay with Mercer near the midcourt stripe. And we get a timeout on the court.
Now the effort is good. The shooting is even better. Really finding all the open men outside the arc. This time it's Bubba Parham. Samford big.
Back in Birmingham, there's a look at Bubba Parham, number 1 in white. Here's our hoop scoop. Played at VMI for a couple of years, was the SoCon Freshman of the Year in 2018, led the league in points per game in 2018-19. Then he goes to Georgia Tech for 3 years. Had limited action last year due to some injuries. Now he's back playing for Samford this year, and he and his girlfriend Dean just welcomed their second child into the world last month.
Yeah, nice holiday picture right there. Bubba with the 3 there right before the timeout. You know, look, he's been good here, but he has also been hurt by Quez Glover not being able to play, because he's better off the basketball than he is handling it. Certainly a capable ball handler, but with Quez Glover out of the lineup for another couple of weeks, he's just got to do a bunch of different things.
Quinones barely beats the shot clock buzzer. Offensive rebound and putback is missed by McCrary. And there he is, Bubba Parham, claiming the loose ball rebound for Samford. Samford with his biggest lead of the night of 14 and led by just 1 at the break. Here's Marshall slithering his way inside, fouls on the floor, and it's on Mercer.
Well, we talk about Bubba playing the point guard. Jaron really has been really good this game and has really stepped up. And he has found multiple shooters for threes here tonight. A welcome sight, but again, Bubba Parham can play that position, but better off the ball.
Into Riley's hands, needs help and finds Parham up front. And a foul from behind. This should be on Braden Sparks for Mercer, I believe, and it is on Sparks. And that's his first.
Well, credit the Bulldogs for recognizing the mismatch in there. Jaron Marshall on the out of bounds was one-on-one in the paint against Sparks, and there's a size advantage right there. So there was no Bulldog going to take a shot until they gave Jermaine Marshall a good look inside. Right now, even though this game has slowed up somewhat, it is at the exact tempo that Samford wants. They're getting the looks they want, and they're knocking down open threes.
6 to shoot. Really inside dive. Position, leans in, shoots and scores. He lays it in.
Logan Dye has always been a talented offensive player, but he's gotten himself in such good shape that now his footwork has become even better.
Yeah, Coach Buckton McMillan said before the game he's a smart and tough player for this team as that shot misses by Quinones. Running down the rebound is really for Samford. Samford in complete command, up 16. Outscoring Mercer by 15 here so far in the second half. And poked away out of bounds. It'll stay with Samford.
And like Quinones with that quick three in transition on the last Mercer possession. Not necessarily the shot you want. You've got to try to play through Grant or Glisson or whomever's in the paint for the Bears.
7 straight losses for Samford. The last time the Bulldogs won a game, November 23rd against Valparaiso. Here's Riley, scoots it over, left corner, 3 by Johnson, not this time. Had the hot hand in the first half, rebound by Mercer.
Not only Samford playing confident, as you see Robertson right there, who had shot it so well. But Samford not only playing with confidence, but playing unlike a team that has lost 7 in a row offensively and defensively. Talking, active, great effort. Maybe most importantly, they have limited Mercer's second chance opportunities. They don't have a single second chance opportunity. Greg Gary's group have lost the shooting touch. They shot 57% in the first half, and now they've missed 7 of their last 8 attempts. Still plenty of time, but they've got to get some rhythm back here offensively.
Here's McCrary, elbow jumper, that's way off the mark. There he is again, Sharon Riley, loose ball rebound for Samford. Into the hands of Parham. It's a chore, Parham, Riley, Nathan Johnson, and Quinn Ritchie, the 5 on the floor for Samford, clad in white. Here's a chore down the lane. Got it back, lays it in. 6 points for a chore from Melbourne, Australia. He's been sick lately, but playing well here tonight. Turnover forced by Samford. Ahead of the pack is Nathan Johnson. Misses the jam on the breakaway, and the rebound by Mercer. Had an easy basket waiting for him, and he could not throw it down.
Yeah, that won't sit well, I can tell you, with Bucky McMillan. Not when you're trying to break a losing streak. You need everything to go right. You don't need to try to get on the highlight reel. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
7 to shoot. Robertson into McCrary. Shot clock at 3. Ball poked away by Parham. Taken by Jordan. Make it a Braden Sparks. Misses that 3. Offensive rebound by Sean. Make it a Shannon Grant. And then finally the putback is good.
And McCreary stayed with it. Shannon Grant planted that foot. I thought he might have traveled.
And a 30-second timeout taken by Samford. 8:14 to go here in the game. It's Samford in the lead by 16 on ESPNU. Here's our featured ESPN football lineup Saturday. It's the college football semifinals as Michigan takes on TCU and Georgia squares off against Ohio State. Monday, Penn State and Utah face off in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Plus, the Bills battle the Bengals in a big Monday Night Football matchup. Also airing on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you here in Birmingham, Alabama. And how about Samford, Dean, shooting overall 51% from the field and 61% from three, 11 out of 18.
Yeah, when you shoot like that, you're going to see some success. 5 of 7 behind the arc here in the second half after 6 of 11 in the first half. They've just run some really good offense, and their defense has been been good as well.
Here's Dye. 6 to shoot. Works against Glisson. Draws the double. 2 to shoot. Leans inside. Puts it in at the shot clock buzzer.
Now the double team never came. Credit Dye for having patience. He knew the clock was running down. Just a perfect possession right there out of the timeout for the Bulldogs.
17 points for Logan Dye. And it's Samford with his biggest lead of 18. Walker tight ropes the baseline. Zanoni, mid-range jumper. Put back slam attempt missed by Glisson. Offensive rebound by Sparks. Shot clock reset to 20. Here's McCrary working inside. Score the basket and a foul. Jalen McCrary points 12 and 13. He'll head to the line for a three-point play when we come back. 7:15 to go in the game. It's Samford by 16. Back here on the campus of Samford University, there's the Samford Athletics Hall of Fame. Beautiful display of some of the greats that have played and coached here, including that man, Bobby Bowden. Long before becoming the head coach at Florida State, he coached at Samford. Passed away in 2021. And how about this quote from Bobby Bowden?
Well, pretty good. Discipline to me is sacrifice. It's willingness to give up something you want to do so you can better yourself. Well said, Coach Bowden.
Inducted into the Samford Athletics Hall of Fame in 2017, passed away in August of 2021. And here we are with 7:15 to go in the game. Samford by 16 at the line for a chance at a three-point play. Jalen McCrary, only a 57% free throw shooter, and misses it. And the rebound snagged by Marshall for Samford. Mercer, 4 of 7 at the line of the game as we approach 7 minutes to go.
Samford has simply imposed their will on Mercer in the second half. They've simply been better at both ends of the floor. That said, Mercer's got a chance if they can continue to tighten their defense and maximize at the offensive end.
3 to shoot, and really barely grazes the iron. Offensive rebound by Marshall, double teamed. And a loose ball foul called, I believe, on Zanoni for Mercer.
Boy, I wasn't sure that hit the corner of the rim.
How about the second half offenses? It's been 27-12 in favor of Samford. Samford dominating from the field from a shooting percentage standpoint. How about Mercer? 5 more turnovers than Samford here in the second half.
Yeah, that's all you need to see right there. You shoot 27%, turn it over 7 times. That's not a good recipe for success. Right, if the Bears continue to play hard, but boy, they've got ground to make up right here with 6.5 to go.
Really beats the shot clock buzzer and scores again. Jared really now with 6 points of the night. It is all Samford here in the second half, up 18, matching its biggest lead of the game.
Well, there's been a couple of possessions like that where Logan Dye, that time really, they recognized the shot clock running down, but they haven't panicked at all. Now they've kind of backed off that full court pressure in a little bit of a matchup zone here just to try to keep the Bears in front of them.
McCrary on the baseline, no. Rebound offensively, Sparks. Zanoni catch and shoot and puts in a 2. 15 points for Michael Zanoni, 6'5" freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Now just the second chance opportunity for Mercer here in the second half. It's been very limited, been all Samford.
Quinn Ritchie off the mark on that 3. Offensive rebound, Dye. He's fouled by Mercer. 1-on-1 free throws coming up. Well, Dean, Bucky McMillan said before the game his keys for his team tonight: defend well, have good ball security on offense, play loosely and with confidence, slow down the tempo, and have a next man up mentality. I think his team has checked all 5 boxes here tonight.
At this point, I'd give them an A in all those categories. Now, look, there's still 5 minutes, 25 seconds to play, but Coach McMillan has had his team prepared and focused. And I think the biggest thing is, again, due to all the health issues, you just weren't sure. And the losing streak, how confident were they going to be? It was good to get back home, though. It's been over a month since they played here at the Pete Hanna Center, and there's nothing like home cooking. So for Bucky McMillan, if they can finish this out, it would be really a nice way to start the new year and conference play.
Logan Dye at the line has 18 points, came in averaging 10 points a game, preseason All-SoCon selection this year, and knocks them both down, give him 19 points of the night. Samford 8 of 11 at the line and leads by 18 again. And again, the full court press put on by Samford as Walker inbounds to Jock Quinones. He went down with a shoulder stinger earlier in the game of the first half, and now he's back in.
And look, the front line, the combination of Jermaine Marshall, Logan Dye, and Achor have been fantastic at both sides of the ball.
Quinones inside, outside Walker. The pump fake draws the contact. They wave off the shot. Fouls on the floor as they foul Walker with 5:02 to go.
But you made comment in the first half, Mercer never found their way to the line in the bonus, right? Samford is defending. They're still not in the bonus. That's just the 15th foul. Mercer's done a terrific job, especially for a pressing team. Limited foul. That's just the 9th overall team foul for the game.
McCrary, quick turnaround shot goes into the lane. Jalen McCrary, 15 points on the night, right at his average per game this season.
Now you got to flip the script. If you're Mercer, you got to try to speed this thing up. Full court pressure, try to force Samford into some quick shots and or turnovers.
Shot clock inside of 10, really around an Achor screen, shot for 3. One of the rare misses by Samford here tonight, especially in the second half. Rebound by Mercer. Quinones stopped Sparks doubled inside. McCrary again scores the 2. 17 points for Jalen McCrary. Under 4 minutes to go. Samford in complete command, though, by 14.
Greg Gary knows that these next 90 seconds or so are critical if they can just chip away. The problem is Samford doing a nice job running the shot clock down.
They slip it inside to a Shore and jump ball. The arrow points over to Mercer. We get a timeout on the court. 3:42 to go in Birmingham. Samford in the lead by 14. Back in Birmingham, and Dean Samford 3 times in the second half has let the shot clock go all the way down, and they get scores at the shot clock buzzer.
Well, look, credit the entire team. They understand that they're up. They understand that they need to run some clock, and they've done it. They've spread the court, and then they've checked to see if the double team has come inside. It hasn't, and in a couple of cases, Logan Dye was able to go one-on-one with the shot clock running down. Really, credit the entire Samford team. The go-to guy has been the open man tonight. You know, across the board, you're seeing 3 guys in double figures, but really it's been a collective effort. Just finding the right guy at the right time. And once they captured this lead, to your point, they have run the shot clock down to perfection.
Samford shooting 50% exactly for the game tonight from the floor, 24 of 48, and shooting exactly 55% from 3, 11 out of 20. Now Mercer, coming into this game tonight, was the SoCon leader, shooting 50% exactly as a team this season. It's shooting 48.9, but so far in the second half, Dean, Samford has really teed it up and slowed down this Mercer offensive display.
Yeah, they have. I mean, look, Mercer has, what, 7 field goals this half, and they have 7 turnovers.
So Mercer with work to do, down 14, under 3.5 to go. Quinones, nice spin. Lost it. People diving for it. Loose ball tie up, and the arrow points back over to Samford. Everything going the Bulldogs' way here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's kind of the story of Mercer's second half. They just have not been able to make plays at the right time.
Jermaine Marshall, 19 points. Logan Dye, 19 points. Almost identical field goal numbers from the field. 10 rebounds between the two. And the Bulldogs, 3 minutes, 24 seconds away from trying to snap a 7-game losing skid.
Yeah, that's 38 and 10 from your starting front court. And then factor in 6 points, 3 rebounds from Shore. You're getting good productivity up front. And again, the Bulldogs in no hurry. They are initiating their offense. Look, Logan Dye is 35 feet from the basket.
Deep of the shot clock again. It's inside of 10, really. Finds Marshall. Open three, book it, another three by Marshall. That's his 4th three of the night, and he has a new season high of 22 points.
Yeah, you knew that was going in from the moment it left his hands. This is about as good as Jermaine Marshall has played this season.
Here's McCrary against Dye into Zanoni's hands. Back to McCrary. Has that nice turnaround. Jay goes down again. He has that shot down to a science. 19 points for Jalen McCrary.
Maybe too little too late, but you're exactly right. McCrary, he's got as good as mid-range game as anybody in the Southern Conference. Samford, a good free throw shooting team, so what do? You've got to try to guard the ball.
Marshall again, a three. That's his 5th three of the night. Give him 25 points for the game. And he continues to add to his season high.
That's the 13th three of the night. That is a season high as well, as you see McCrary trying to do everything he can to help the Bears.
Coming up at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2. A couple of 11-1 teams to square off. Ricky Council the 4th and number 9 Arkansas take on KJ Williams and LSU at the Maravich Center in Baton Rouge. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2. So here's Jalen McCrary. He's transferred from South Florida. Before USF, he played at South Carolina. He's bounced around. One shot for a three-point play, and he knocks it in. Nothing but net. 22 points for Jalen McCrary. But the lead is still 15 for Samford. Minute 47 to go.
We talked about Samford being dialed in. Nobody better than Jermaine Marshall. He's been good since the tip.
Marshall in the corner. Nathan Johnson, open three. And the rebound by Zanoni for Mercer. Under 90 seconds to go.
Nice defense there by Bubba Parham. He was not going to let Sean Walker get a three off.
Here's Walker. Reach-in foul called on Bubba Parham. That's his 2nd of the game. And 1-on-1 free throws coming up for Mercer.
And we go back to so many close calls by Samford over the last 30 days or so during this losing streak. And you wonder what could have been, but put all that aside, Bucky McMillan had his team ready tonight, dialed in. They were good defensively. They were great offensively.
And Walker scores the free throw. Coming up at 9 Eastern over on ESPN and the app. We'll cap our bowl triple header with Texas Tech and Ole Miss at the Tex Act Texas Bowl. Again, 9 Eastern over on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Walker goes 2 for 2 at the line. He has 5 points. Minute 14 to go. Samford by 13.
Well, and as well as Samford has shot it, credit their defense, right? They have held this high-powered Mercer team to 60 points here with a minute to go. Bucky McMillan wasn't sure if he had enough points in the lineup tonight in a high-scoring affair. Well, they haven't needed to score a ton of points. 73 looks like it's going to be enough.
Walker got clobbered on the shot. He's fouled. 3 Bulldogs were there. Take your pick. He'll head to the line and shoot 2. Fouls on Jermaine Marshall. That's his first. So, Dean, 47.7 to go. Samford by 13. Looks like it's going to break that 7-game losing skid tonight. What have you been most impressed with by Samford's performance tonight? The threes, the defense, what's it been?
It's a little bit of everything. Bucky McMillan had his team ready. They just never flinched, right? Even in the first half, when Mercer made that run, took the lead, you could just tell there was an air of confidence about this team. And it was kind of that next man up mentality. I know that's coaches speak, but they really got some frontline help tonight from Marshall, Dye, and Achor. But I think most importantly, to answer your question, right, it was the defense. Again, to limit Mercer to less than 50% field goal shooting, to 62 points now with 47 seconds to go. I mean, across the board, they have been really, really solid defensively.
30-second timeout taken. So last year, Samford, 21 wins, 11 defeats, went 8-10-8 to the SoCon, lost to Furman in the SoCon tournament semifinals by 3 points. This year started out 6-0, then lost 7 straight. We talked about the several close losses. We talked about the injuries, the illnesses, and Bucky McMillan's team just 47.7 seconds away from not only ending the 7-game losing skid, but also opening up conference play 1-0. You take a look at the preseason coaches poll of the SoCon. Furman, the favorites heading into the season. Samford, preseason number 2, and Mercer, preseason number 7.
Well, I think Mercer's better than 7, but there was a reason that the coaches picked Samford preseason 2. I mean, the talent that they have on their roster, again, once Quez Glover comes back, Jaden Campbell comes back, I mean, this is a team that can go on the road and win in some difficult places, as we know in this league. I still think it's Furman's, conference to lose, across the board. Mike Bothwell, Jalen Slauson, I mean, they have really, really good talent. They're extremely well coached by Bob Ritchie, but they're going to have to prove it in the regular season, and more importantly in this league, come tournament play in Asheville in early March.
They're checking the clock, trying to fix that. And they make the proper adjustment and ready to resume play. Here's Riley, draws the double team, almost stolen away into Logan Dye's hands. Reach-in foul called on Mercer with 30.7 to go.
And you go back to the coaches poll, Brock. Furman 9-4, the preseason favorite, and an 18-game schedule, a lot of basketball to play. But you start off, right? It's a new season today, and for the other 8 teams, there's 4 games tomorrow to kick off SoCon play. I mean, it is wide open. And it's hard to tell, right? I mean, look, Western Carolina has won 3 in a row. They have the longest winning streak coming in right now as of today. Chattanooga, right, arguably has the best player right now in Jake Stevens. So, and I think ETSU is better than 4-9. So it is a wide open SoCon this year. I don't know, in the past, I think you always felt like, boy, there's 1 or 2 teams. Furman may be that team this year, but I think there's several teams that will factor in, and they may not be able to win the conference regular season or tournament, but they can affect the conference regular season and tournament.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. 25 seconds to go. Quinones inside, floats it up and in. That's his first 2 points of the game. Timeout taken by Greg Gary and the Mercer Bears.
This is much about talking to his team, teaching his team, Greg Gary that is. Certainly they're going to try to force a turnover, a 5-second count or a steal in a basket. But you're preparing for what's really going to be just difficult trying to win on the road in the Southern Conference.
The Mercer Bears, 7 wins this season versus Milligan College, Winthrop, Robert Morris, Fairfield, Middle Georgia State, Morehead State, and Troy. And the Bears will play 3 days after tonight and play at home against Chattanooga.
That won't be easy, where the Bears have been really good inside Hawkins Arena, their home arena, but nothing easy in this league. Chattanooga, and it's more than a one-man team with Jake Stevens. But they've got some good wins, right? We talked about that. Troy win is really good. Winthrop, Fairfield, all quality mid-major wins. Samford just got the better of them here in the second half tonight.
Really inbounds, ball knocked away off of Mercer, out of bounds, stays with Samford, 22.3 to go.
Now give the Bears credit for continuing to fight. That was almost a 5-second count.
Dye inbounds, and a steal by Mercer. Quinones, his three, it's good. It's down to an 8-point game, 17.9 to go. Timeout, Mercer.
Not so fast, my friend. Well, that's just good execution right there by Mercer. Outstanding timeout by Greg Gary. They got the deflection, which then caused the spot throw in, where really couldn't move on the baseline. That made it more difficult to inbound, the turnover, the three, and you use another timeout, and you continue to talk to your team. At this point, unless it is an absolute layup with under 18 seconds, you do need the threes. But again, nice job by the Bears. If you're Bucky McMillan, you're talking, hey, we've worked on this before. We've got multiple press offenses. Here's what we can do. We've got a timeout. We can run the baseline, get it in, knowing that Mercer more than likely is going to foul, so make sure we meet every pass.
There you see Bucky McMillan again, formerly a long time and very successful high school coach at Mountain Brook High School in Alabama for 12 years, 333 wins, only 74 defeats, won 81% of his games, Dean, and won 5 Alabama state championships.
Yeah, just an outstanding career, 12 years. There was nobody better in the state of Alabama. You talked about it, multiple. And it's not just the wins, but it's the player development, it's the character development. I mean, he was the right choice at the right time for Director of Athletics Martin Newton to select as the head coach. Look, put aside, this losing streak. I mean, they have made great strides, not only this year, but over the course of the last 2+ seasons.
They immediately fouled Dye. Fouls on McCrary. That's his 4th. Logan Dye has a chance to tie his season high here with a couple of free throws. He has 21 points. His season high so far this year, 23.
Still a one-on-one situation, so you hope for a miss, you hope for a quick three. Clock stops. It's a long shot at best, but if you're Mercer, you've been able to keep the door open through a couple of good opportunities.
22 points for Logan Dye. Now the bonus, a chance to tie his season high of 23 points. He has 22 so far tonight, matching his jersey number. And it's good again. Ties his season high of 23 points. 12 seconds to go. Zanoni floats one up and puts it in. Michael Zanoni now with 17 points, down to an 8-point game again, 9.1 to go.
Credit the Bears for continuing to battle.
And they foul Jaron Riley with 8.2.
Not so sure, Brock, that it was so much what Mercer didn't do as it was what Samford did tonight. And what I mean by that is, right, both teams played hard. Both teams shot it really well in the first half, but in the second half, we saw it. There were multiple late clock situations where Samford didn't panic. They were able to come away with some points. And then defensively, they were able to keep Mercer in front of him. And look, Shannon Grant, he just terrific that he's back in uniform and playing, but it's going to take him a couple of games to get back and find his rhythm for the Bears. He'll be back in time, and once we get into the meat of Southern Conference play.
And Riley makes 1 of 2. He has 7. 7 seconds to go. Shot for 3, missed, tapped up, missed by Quinones. 1 second to go, and that is it. And Samford ends the 7-game losing skid and defeats Mercer 78-69, the final, to go to 1-0 in SoCon play.
The Bulldogs were dialed in. They understood the importance of this game tonight. It was the start of conference play. They were at home. They put everything aside, and they look battle-tested. What a great start for the Bulldogs.
So Samford goes to 7-7, 1-0 in the SoCon. Mercer drops to 7-7 and is 0-1 in SoCon play. That's going to wrap things up for us here from Birmingham. Final score one more time: Samford 78 and Mercer 69. For my broadcast partner, Dean Keener, and the rest of our crew, Brock Bowling saying good night from Birmingham.